allow the two children to have the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind. Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call am hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day dollar just they get the higher power over Naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My yegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My Mayegun la wa mo la mo do 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 do. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun la wa mo la mo do 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 do. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun diary, diary politico. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tójódódó. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. bàbá gbéwúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn àjò.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn àjò.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pírẹsidó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn àjò.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn àjò.
Hello there, brethren. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún live. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. Please read beyond, before you settle down, read beyond just the caption of the broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, to show that you are here. Then share it to invite your friends and your not so friendly friends that Máyégún is live. Máyégún today. Sorry about that blink. So tonight, again, I have brought to you series of happenings in the contraption on the economic side. What is out there and what is coming? We have an idea, so we're going to touch that. On the political side, I mean, you are currently witnessing the development, the jumping of a ship and the rest of the coalition, this coalition, that. So tonight, again, we are going to touch that. And then there are other series of add-ons, happenings in that place that fit in into our conversation and our awareness, kind of, you know, on Máyégún's Diary Political. So, you're welcome. And thank you so much for joining me. So the World Bank, the same World Bank and IMF that gave Tinubu the clean slate of health economically, the same them that gave Tinubu the economic policy that he unleashed on you, Nigerians, conditions given to him before they could loan him over $8 billion in a space of, 18 months. We can say 2 years. So policies like removal of a subsidy, it is the World Bank policy, you know. The devaluation of Nigerian Naira, World Bank policy, among many others that are secretly, right, and openly as well, promoted by the World Bank for Tinubu's regime to believe that they are doing something right. So the World Bank, on the one hand, they will say they are doing the right thing in a wrong way, because you can't be trying to cut waste on this side and then you are wasting your wastage. The same money you're trying to cut from here is being squandered here. So it is just like self-deceit. Like somebody who believes that he or she is fasting. Like everybody believes, oh, she's fasting, only for him or her to go behind and then feed, get him herself, like him or herself fed enough, believing that at least nobody kind of like, sees you. So if there is a purpose for that particular kind of like devotion and you've missed it, so then they will know eventually. That's what the World Bank is saying, but they are responsible. Same them are telling Tinubu's regime that they can continue to borrow to fund what they call developmental projects or critical projects. By the time you start looking at all those critical projects, it's like they want to train 1,000 women on how to, tie wrapper. World Bank project, loan $50 million. They want to teach farmers, right, how to catch, you know, a bisexual rat somewhere, $1 million. Some other ridiculous things. I'm just using that one. Maybe, you know, loans with conditions. Conditions like interest, you know, they'll be giving them interest rates. Then long-term payments that Nigeria have no capacity of paying our debt, but we continue to service the same debt. Almost 1/3 of their own budget is going into servicing of debt. So the same World Bank has now come out to give us some of their very, very concerning reports. As Tinubu and Co continue to make Nigerians believe that whatever it is they are going through right now, they are making sacrifices. You know what I mean? Like, just some sacrifices they have to make. Later, everything will get better. Do you get that now? So a very, very bold, naked lie that statistics, you know, like facts, doesn't really back up. Just make up things like, oh, don't worry, you can suffer now. Don't worry. We have increased the allocation to states. We have increased allocation to local governments. We have also increased the minimum wage. The minimum wage, that's not a single one of them has paid it. It continues to be a propaganda that somehow, despite the fact that not a single one of them in Nigeria is yet to pay that minimum wage, they tend to tell themselves that it's already forgone issue. You know, even if we don't pay now, we'll pay you later. You got what I mean now? But in reality, the policies are just, you know, farce. You got what I mean? They are just pure fronts, you know, wrongly sort of like executed and intentionally too. Don't ever think that the word incompetent, is somehow applicable to these guys. You know, being incompetent means you are either not qualified, which people believe they are not, and then, you know, trying to prove something that you are not really, trying to kind of like do something that you are not really qualified to do. So sooner or later, you know, it will become obvious. But that's different from what these guys are doing. What they are doing is intentional. You get what I mean now? For example, one of the drain pipe of Nigeria Forex, hang on, the biggest earner or Forex earner for Nigeria is their crude oil. The biggest Forex earner. And the biggest Forex drainer is importation of fuel and other importations, but especially importation of fuel, refined products into Nigeria, in which the government was now subsidizing in order to cut the sort of like the cost on the end users, Nigerians. So cutting that off ordinarily would mean, oh, hang on, usually we spend this amount of money on subsidy, right? So what we will do now is this. Because in their own defense, they said it is not that they had the money. That if they didn't remove the subsidy, they would still have to go and borrow, like to go for loan to pay for that subsidy. That was their own, in their own defense. So now let's not say, fine, the money is now, it's not going to be borrowed to, I mean, they're not going to borrow the money to subsidize some oil importers. But we're still going to borrow the money anyway. But we're going to now try, not only to make your refineries work, but crude oil supplies to every necessary working refineries in Nigeria, how they are going to have access to crude oil. If that's going to be what you are going to borrow the subsidy money on, and you are now telling people and say, listen, oh guys, listen, here is the option. Okay, here are the options. We can continue to pay subsidy and you continue to buy the supposed cheap oil, which affects everything else, right? But that is a waste. How about, so number one, we don't have the money. So how about we remove it like we are planning to now, right? So we remove it and still go on and borrow how much it would have cost us if we have to pay the subsidy. For example, I say, oh, it would have cost us $5 billion. And then, no, we are not going to have to pay that. So what we do is that we still take that $5 billion and we are now going to use that $5 billion to improve oil infrastructure in Nigeria. And this infrastructural development, right, will be on this and this scale for the, what do you call it? For the mid-term, long-term, like you say, for the short-term, mid-term, long-term. So people will be like, they will understand what they are suffering for. Sure, you get. They are over, I mean, after 2 years, so when this whole thing is done, we now expect us to now enjoy your supposed crude oil. No longer, no importation. So somebody can now say, listen, guys, oh, I'm removing this subsidy, right? I promise you, in 2 years' time, there will be no massive importation of any petrol or whatever is it to Nigeria anymore. And whoever wants to then, as a free market, is up to them. They can go anywhere they want to go and bring their crude oil as long as they meet the standard that we are going to set, right? Now that can be, or I mean, that would be understandable, right? But that is not what these guys are doing. So it was like, oh, we are removing the subsidy, but we are still paying the subsidy. No, we're not paying subsidy on fuel. No, we are paying subsidy on dollars. And all of that continue to drain the system. So there's no real investment anywhere. Coupled with the increasing insecurity that surprisingly suddenly escalated, kind of like it's becoming, you know, like Jonathan era. So the only thing we haven't seen yet is for them to attack Abuja and a few other places like that. Anyway, so the World Bank says volatile countries with large economies, countries like Nigeria, Congo, you know, DRC, or this Democratic something Congo, right? And some other countries, you know, especially in Western part of Africa, facing different turbulence, like from terrorism to, they even mentioned climate change and all of that stuff. Almost especially Nigeria, where they have series of terrorists. So it is believed that 3.6% Nigerians are expected to probably going to fall more into poverty between 2022 and 2027. So in that space, if you have to put a number to that 3.6%, right? Currently, it is reported that 147 million Nigerians are currently living in extreme multi-dimensional poverty, something that is, I've broken it up a few times on this platform, what that means, right? 147 million Nigerians who are lacking basic things of life. 147 million. Now, you probably will say, who counted them? This is how they come up with all these figures, because if you believe that, you know, if you believe that Nigeria population is 210 million or is going to 250 million, like some of you, you know, so definitely with the available data that they kind of scientifically put together, and realistically too, if everybody stops being like pretentious and being dishonest or living in denial, right? It's somehow close. So putting number to this means 3.6% Nigerians will fall more into, say, poverty. So what that means is that in number, so if you say 10% of Nigeria is 21 million, right? So if you cut 10% by another 5, so that would be like 10.5 million. Okay, that's 5%. So if you cut that again, so you can easily say, so they are now saying that between now, 2025 and 2026, so here you go. So if you now call that, that's going to be like maybe 3 million, or, well, that can even be like 3.6, right? So 3.6 million, or even just say 3 million. Now, 3 million, that is even the population of some countries. When I say countries, there are like more than 4 or 5 countries whose populations are not even up to 1 million. And that would be like an extra 3 million people. So what that means in a real context is that you see some of you right now, yeah, who still have money to buy phones, data, and all of that. It's not easy. Sure, you get like, you're already feeling it little by little. Sure, you get now like, you are struggling to buy data, but you're still able to, right now. You're still able to kind of do your 101. And somehow you are kind of like still managing. It's not easy, like I said. So what I mean is that some of you, at least 3 million of you, are going to fall so deeper. And why? Simply because Tinubu's policies are fraudulent. They are not truthful. So as they are claiming to be doing budget cuts, budget cuts, financial this or that, they are also laundering the same money. They are borrowing money, and they are putting up different kind of bogus projects to squander the money as well, while the debt repayment remains. So the World Bank is now saying this is preventable or avoidable. Normally, it is late. Someone like me will say, oh, it is late. But to them, they're like, it is not too late. Okay? So what are the things that could be done to make sure that 3 million or more of you do not end up where those who were once kind of doing well? You know, genuinely, right? If you take a look at how APC, Egbekebe, destroyed Nigeria, it was gradual. So they put imaginary sort of like a progress in the heads of their, of their voluntary slaves, we call them, right? Because you don't need campaigns, all right, when your government's policy actually affects the people positively. See, you can never get 100%, sort of approval. It's almost impossible, except maybe like North Korea, So you can't get 100%. So which means if you can have anything above 50% of your population to say whether they like you or not, your policy touches them, changes their lives better. And if it, like they are in Nigeria, struggling to kind of survive, if your policies relieve that, they will feel it. They will be your own vuvuzelas. But to those Ronokus and gangs, no, that is not how it works. They just want you to believe that if you can't see what they are saying, if you can't see how Tinubu has created, go and look at Eco Atlantic. Eco Atlantic is worth $20 billion. Lagos State is worth, the economy of Lagos State is worth $200 billion by 2030. You know, those kind of nonsense that doesn't have any direct, what they call the HDI, Human Development Index. No direct impact. Do you get that now? So this idea of, progress or progression, whatever you want to call it, created by the Ronokus and their gang, you are supposed to feel it. Something that, for example, right, let's say in 2 years or so, they decided that there's this particular funding or money that, it's pretty much a waste. So we mop them all together. And this is how much they are. Number one, we will never put money there anymore. Now, for what we have managed to recover, here is 800 billion naira. Now we are channeling it into this. Something that you can easily just say, oh yeah, this is something you can point to and say, well, but that is not the situation with these guys. The second thing they expect them, apart from cutting the right, the next thing they expect them to do is for goodness sake, right? Those who are sponsoring this terrorism in Nigeria, they are members of APC. They know themselves. Tinubu sat with them when they put all of this together. So if they do not want many of Nigerians to either end up in IDP camps or dead or wretched in the next 1 year, a serious country will wage war against those who are waging war against their country. But that is not the kind when you have the Koolus. So I don't know which one to give to you first, because this is me now going into the part of the reasons why, you see, whatever it is that the World Bank is projecting, IMF projecting, as much as they are so involved, okay, the available facts shows that none of them is to be trusted. So on one hand, they are telling us the consequences of all they are doing together. On the second hand, they are not telling us that they are distancing themselves from this. No, they are deeply involved. Same them, any of their employee tomorrow may come up and begin to say, may just declare, Tinubu's policy saved Nigeria, headline. You get what I mean? But the bottom line is that the reasons why, yeah, there will be no real progress. And of course, more and more Nigerians, right, will continue to fall into abject, multi-dimensional poverty. The height of them is this insecurity. Others is those who enabled it. Those who are supposed to nip it in the bud, but turned it into the politics of, while the lives and livelihood of people have been destroyed before our very eyes. So the guy who is the NSA to Tinubu, and that is Ribadu, right? After Tinubu spent 19 days in France and London, okay? So he said they went in to go and brief Tinubu. And then he had this to say. That's what we're going to start from. I've got this two boring part first. Then we'll go to something we say in the middle. Watch this.
Yes, it was graciously Mr. President gave us a chance to come and brief him. And it lasted very long. We gave him an update of what has been the case and what is going on. And even when he was out there and before coming back, he was constantly in touch. He was giving directives. He was following developments. And we, in charge of the security, got the opportunity today to come and brief him properly for hours. And it was very, very detailed, and it was exhaustive. It was complete and A to Z what has been the case and what's been happening today. And we listened and we took instructions from him. We got new directives. The fact is, Mr. President is insisting and working so hard to ensure that we have peace, security, and stability in our country. We gave him what is going on, and we also assured him that work is ongoing and continuous. We also carried out his instructions. We went around. The chiefs were all out where we had these sparks and incidents of insecurity. Plateau State, Benue State, even Borno, these particular 3 states. And we gave him a feedback because he directed us to go meet with the political authorities there. Issue of insecurity often is not just federal government. It involves the subunits. They are the ones who are directly with the people, especially if some of the challenges are more or less bordering on community problems. Not entirely everything is that, but of course it plays a significant role. You need to work with the communities. You need to work with the local governments. You need to work with the governors, especially the governors. The president continued to direct that we should be doing that, and that's what we are able to. And we are very happy, very satisfied with the instructions and the directives given by Mr. President this evening.
Okay, definitely. Now, what should they?
He's so worried and concerned. He insisted that enough is enough, and we are working and to ensure that we restore peace and security. And all of us are there the armed forces are there, the civil police, the intelligence communities. They are there. They are working there 24 hours. And we feel that we have done enough to believe that we are on the right course and we'll be able to be on top of things. We are getting the cooperation of the, like I said, the leadership at the state level and everybody. So we are good. It's not really 100% that everything is safe and secure, but we are going there. Things have improved since, and we'll continue to be there. We will work. It is its own instructions. Things have changed in this country. We've continued to, talk about it. Security is about relative. What was it and what is it today? You compare how things were in the past. We do not underestimate even one life lost. We don't take it for lightly, no, at all. But certainly, a lot of things have changed and improved, and it will continue to. We are on right track. We are on right direction, and we will not relent. We will not sit down. We will not stop until when we are able to achieve results. The same thing with Borno. Borno State, yes. We knew things escalated in the last few months or so. But these people you are fighting, evil people, will not just sometimes sit down and accept defeat. They will show their own. They will try to show. Most of the death and also casualties we recorded are as a result of IEDs, improvised explosive devices, that they will go planned for innocent people to come and just anything on top of it is explore. And then often you have large number of casualties. We have also seen opportunistic attacks. When after, for a long period, you have more or less a relative peace, then they will come cowardly, go around and do a bad thing. And for your information, when you are having peace, and you are beginning to get used to it. If one bad incident happens, you forget or you will easily not remember this period that you enjoyed peacefully. That is what is going on. There are people who don't sleep, who work throughout, who do not go for any break or holiday, who are making sacrifice, many, just for us to achieve this semblance of peace that we are enjoying. And they will continue to be there. I think it is also appropriate that people should take note of that. There are many who are doing this. Yes, it was graciously Mr. President gave
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Now, person where they advised Tinubu be that. Ribadu. They are just a bunch of fake praise singers, like eye service. I think people should kind of study it though. Like they are always, if you have not observed them, I have, right? They are mostly acting like they are scripted. They are always going to be sounding off, back and forth, contradictory, and the rest. So, for example, if you remember, Wale Idun, that is the national economic advisor to Tinubu, as well as the finance minister, right? Whenever you see Wale Idun on screen, Wale Idun will be dropping grammar, but pointless, meaningless, like directionless, senseless narratives, just to defend something. For example, right? Wale Idun can be like, you say, Mr. President, when we met with the Mr. President on this 5.5 million dollars loan from World Bank. You see, this World Bank loan is because, you see, Mr. President wants the poor people in Nigeria to understand that he knows that they are suffering. He knows that things are very, very tough. That is why, you see, Mr. President, in his wisdom, he decided that, he called a meeting of his intelligence team together, and he said, you know, when we met with the World Bank, Mr. President, in his wisdom, he listened to all our presentations, all the options, and he said we should take the 5.5 million for training of women on how to tie wrapper. For the progress of Nigeria and all of that. So in his wisdom, so Mr. President said, you see, our women, they work so hard. They are the pillar of the family. They hold the family together. And Mr. President believed that in his own economic drive to empower the women and ensure that they have this modern technological advancement for progress of, you know, gratuity in the North Pole of, you know, Galatasaray. You could just say all the nonsense altogether, like that. But he will always say that Mr. President, in his wisdom, Mr. President also, you know, when he called us, you know, you see one thing, Mr. President is like, he's such a very intelligent man. You see, when he said, we need to make sure that the poor women in Nigeria, they learn how to tie wrapper in a professional, technological 2025, 21st century way. That's why they want to borrow 5.5 million from World Bank. Wale do. They all kind of like talk like that. So when you listen to Ribadu as well, I just met with the president to come and brief him. You see, even when he was away, when he was over there, he was still controlling things because Mr. President says that we must make sure that, you know, things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are improving now. Like, you see, Mr. President is very much in charge. And he always makes sure that, you know, all these bad people, we deal with them, and we have dealt with them enough that everywhere is peaceful now. Everywhere is good. Even though I actually jotted some of his nonsense, okay? Even though, you know, we have, you know, some casualties. We have had some plenty casualties, okay? And most of the casualties are, you know, there are people who are killed, you know, with IEDs, you know, improvised explosive devices. But we are on track. We are on track. You know, Mr. President wants to make sure that we are on track. Mr. President wants to make sure that all over this country, everybody is safe. Nigeria is safe. You know, even though God damn it. He said more. He said large number of casualties. That's why he called it large number. He said some of these attacks are opportunity attacks and blah blah blah. But there is no peace. The only peace you have right now is because you are not the current target. A day is coming, turn by turn Nigeria Limited. A day is coming that it may be you running for your life. It can happen to anybody anytime. That's not safe. Because every day, from what we have seen so far, yeah, this guy who said, you know, issue of security, you know, the subunit, he called it subunit. They all have to work together, but a state governor is not allowed to arm local groups to go after the terrorists. How about that? But it is Ribadu. Okay? Like I said, this is one very huge elephant in the room of the reason why, if you see the projection for Nigeria, don't brush it aside. Everybody, they feel from the economy that was $568 or so billion, the economy, where most of you will remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you had an economy that some of you, as you are graduating, right? Or you have some little job you are doing somewhere, you're buying yourself new cars, they go on holiday. You don't know anybody, you know, but your papa don't be politician or anything, right? Some of you started your online businesses and other businesses that somehow you add something to hold or call your own. Because you had an economy where people were able to buy. People had money to buy and sell. You go everywhere. You know, just create something. You will have a demography to serve. You know, shopping mall everywhere. You know, like today you still have demo, but patronage has so dropped that you don't need anybody, all right, to explain to you what is going on. If you don't understand that an economy that was 568 billion, economy that was going to 1 trillion, then APC happened to you. Your economy is now shrunk, that they are now projecting Nigeria economy will hit $198 billion in 2026. So do you know what that means? It means that some of your wealth, they've wiped out more than 70% of an entire generational wealth. You don't understand. Some of you don't understand. I don't know how to explain it to you. If you, in the last 10 years, if you lost a job, if you lost a business, if you lost your relationship because of economic reasons, you are the victims of the last 10 years of that dwindled economy. No matter what you see, people get money. I mean, some people don't get money in the last 10 years. They are now rich. Yes, that's what happened. When they wipe the economy like that, the money still ends up in the hands of few. Do you understand what that is, right? No? Okay. In a situation whereby you have an economy, there are somehow, you see our productions going on at some level, including oil production in Nigeria. Your refineries were working at 51%, in case some of you have forgotten totally. 51%. It was when the APC, Egbeke came, 2016. That was when Nigeria refineries, all of them, died. And it was intentional. And under Bokwari, they've expended over $2.6 billion reviving that refinery. It still never works. Intentional. Here you get. So those of you who can say, oh, my mama lost a slot. Oh, they destroyed my mama's stall. Oh, they destroyed my papa's business place. They did this and that. Oh, they sold this and that, and then they just lost their jobs. In the last decade, this is like saying in your economy in that country, right? Over $300 billion zoom in 10 years. $300 billion. So if you see some of them that built houses that you can say, this one are like $1 billion. This one is like, sure you get, that is where your money is. Majority of it is no longer in Nigeria. It's not that Nigeria is not creating wealth after, that 10 years too. Sure you know now, like you can say, okay, from $568 billion economy, under Bokwari, just so you know, it dropped to $340-something billion. That's what they said. They said the economy of Nigeria shrunk to 320-something billion. This was in 2023. Between 2023 and 2025, Nigeria economy has shrunk to 198 billion. So you will feel it. That's what you are feeling in Nigeria. That's why you can see that even if you try to start any business, how are you sure that you have that same patronage and the business won't die? Be honest to yourself, but not everybody won't be honest. Everybody is telling you that don't expect government to do anything for you. But yet you start a business, right? They crashed the economy. Inflation took half of your business, or 2/3 of your business. The rest, you are now probably like in between. She make you sell the business and japa, and make you just sell whatever remains, and just eat until you finish the money. You see, nobody say you don't try. You are trying to be on your own. You are not looking for government, but yet their policies will still touch you, steal from you, destroy your efforts. So you don't need a proposal. You don't need anybody to tell you what's going to happen. And then somebody will be like, oh, everything will be fine. Everything can be fine. Well, to some extent. What does that mean? What I listed earlier. When you go after the terrorist sponsor, the terrorist, you no longer do pardoning terrorists. Any captured terrorist will kind of count himself unlucky. A dead terrorist is a repentant terrorist, or a dead terrorist is a repented terrorist. But any terrorist captured alive, right? To make sure that the terrorist is has repented, then you have to build your camp in Sambisa. Enough that if you manage to round up to like 100,000 of them, and maybe exterminate more, maybe 200,000-300,000 more, then that your land will become a dreaded land. Their sponsor are also standing trial for murder, standing trial for treason, whatever you can set them up for, and they can get life sentences or death sentences. So when you send that kind of messages out, right, and your farmers and people are going back to their ancestral lands, indigenous homes, sure you get anyone who wants to kind of come out to try to terminate or obstruct that your whatever progressive agenda, they would have to think twice. But no, these ones are just telling themselves that no, everything is fine. In the same wastage jamboree or being a wastage galore, Tinubu is planning to spend 10 billion Naira on constructing a solar panel for the Aso Rock right now. Solar panel. How much was Shitty Man's house then again? 21 billion. This is what comes to my mind. Ìjọba ebi ló kàn yìí, ẹ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run.
Ìjọba èmi ló kàn yìí, ẹ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run. Ìjọba èmi ló kàn yìí, ẹ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run. Ebi ń pa wá, ìyà ń jẹ wá, kò sí ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀. Ìjọba èmi ló kàn yìí, ẹ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run.
Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba, okay? The man is begging the APC, Egbekegbe, to fear God. Abba, people are hungry. People are suffering. There is no peace of mind. Please, Ejo, they fear God. That's the song. 10 billion Naira to mount solar panel as alternative source of power for Aso Rock. Do you know that they are paying rent in Aso Rock? Nobody knows the landlord though. But when you begin to scrutinize their budget, you will see there, rent. I have not seen any convincing explanation for what that is, but yeah. 400 million, 500 million Naira rent for Aso Rock, paying it to who? 10 billion Naira for solar panel. I mean, it would have been great, right? If indeed they are going to construct a solar panel, even if it's 2 billion Naira, and then still 8 billion. You know something? They won't build any solar panel. Maybe not now. And that will appear in their budget every year, increasing and increasing, and they will be paying it out like their Aso Rock clinic, right? Or Aso Rock kitchen. Anyway, so Tinubu, it was a chance to deliver a written speech on renewable energy, to the United Nations Committee on Climate Change, I think. And here is the second boring part before we go to something interesting again, okay? Koolu.
Prosperity for our people. Nigeria remains one of the Africa's leading voices on energy transition. At the core of our strategy is a comprehensive Nigeria Energy Transition Plan, ETP, which sets forth a bold and pragmatic pathway to net zero emission by 2060. Our plan, anchored upon 5 core sectors: power, cooking, transportation, oil and gas, and industry, identifies both the required financial resources had an estimated 410 billion through year 2060. And the policy reforms needed to unlock them. We, therefore, in the process of signing our regulatory environment, physical incentives, and institutional framework to ensure that energy access, decarbonization, and economic competitiveness proceed in lockstep. We are also taking leadership in every energy areas in partnership with the World Bank and the African Development Bank. Nigerians has as an anchor country in the Mission 300 initiative to deliver access to electricity to 300 million people by 2030. In January, I joined other African presidents to sign the Jerusalem Declaration and lead my country's representation of our National Energy Compact. This compact, among the first of its kind in Africa, lays out our policy reform commitment and specific investment opportunities in the energy sector. It sets quantifiable targets to grow electricity, access and increase clean cooking penetration. We are working to build capacity and ensuring that we meet targets, reflecting not just our ambition, but also a commitment to a measurable level. As part of our broader energy reform architecture, we have also taken important steps to institutionalize and activate a carbon market, the carbon market ecosystem in March 2025. We finalized the Nigerian Carbon Market Activation Policy, which provides a clear framework to drive high integrity emission reductions, attract private capital, and establish Nigeria as a credible destination for voluntary and compliance carbon finance. Our target is to mobilize up to $2.5 billion by 2030 from high-quality credits and carbon-related investments. Furthermore, Nigeria is actively updating national determined contributions, NDC, in line with the guidance from the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, with a view to presenting a comprehensive plan for September 2025. Critically, our climate strategy is not limited to planning regulations. It is also rooted in market reform. We are working to position Nigeria as a premier destination for climate-smart investment through the development of global climate change investment fund, which will serve as a platform to blend public and private capital, de-risk green infrastructure, and finance clean energy solutions. The fund will support key national priorities such as green industrial hubs, e-mobility infrastructure, regenerative agriculture, the renewable energy, mini grids for underserved community. Our comprehensive hope today would not have been possible without this strategic collaboration. I wish to extend my deep appreciation to the United Nations and its particularly Sustainable Energy for All for their continued advisory and technical support. But know that one thing is clear. Africa is at the receiving end of the climate change more than any other continent. Special attention needs to be placed on the need of Africa, and the carbon credits was to justify the need for our changes. In closing, let me read.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
So they are trying to sort of like job the United Nations for, what do you call it, for their dollars. Those ones will give them other presentation stuff, right? Climate change, this, that, la, la, yeah. So that's what Tinubu put up, you know, just put up a show, act up like. So somebody who was asking what's the meaning of a Koolu, if you know about a Koolu, I've been a Koolu, you know, when those chicken are about to like, yeah, exactly. So when you look at Koolu during the election, right, during the charade, you know, it was always you know, it was always high, kind of, if you remember. So somebody now called him Koolu. That God, this what was, I mean, what is our sin? Yeah, that you have to want to punish us with this one. Look at him. Look at the. I don't know if some of you saw that video. I can look for it and show it. That's where the Koolu comes in. You know, that's where he started handling it. Until tomorrow, he's still very much a Koolu. Anyway, going forward. So now that we have left the boring part, let's go to say a bit of interesting parts. You see, lately, when especially the Delta State PDP guys that decamped to APC, and by Monday, they are organizing a mega rally. You see, some people have said that doesn't mean anything, while others believe, no, it means so much. So the debate has been raging kind of everywhere. People have been like sharing their views, this and that. In that space, we have had people who believes that the only way to remove Tinubu is for the opposition people to come together, while others believe that let us not deceive ourselves. This is a foregone thing. You see, there are more governors who are still going to go and join APC. And they are doing so because everybody wants to be on the one side. And that is the side, that is the side of Tinubu, the man they call the master strategist in politics. You would wish that he's also a master strategist in governance. How wonderful it would be, you know, like by appointing real sensible people, like intelligent people to really run your affair for real. They will be corrupt, but they will still be doing the, yeah. Anyway, so they are saying that Tinubu, Mr. Strategist, has won over his opposition by using the instrument of his power, intimidation, carrot and stick kind of, yeah. So first they will offer you something, whatever you want, just name it, you'll be given. When you say no, then they will use the stick. So the first one is that carrot, the second one is stick. So it seems that not many of them want to see Tinubu say stick because compromise on them, right? There are compromise on all of them. So for Tinubu, if the Northern Nigeria decided to want to play smart, he has a two joker for them. The first one is to pick up as many opposition as possible, especially from southern part of Nigeria, all right, to join in this public sort of a show of support, loyalty, or what have you, that will make it look like I'm not doing it for Tinubu, I'm doing it for the South. I'm not doing it for this, I'm doing it for that. All of that cover up, sure you get. That's the first, the first one. The second one that Tinubu is planning to use is this rumored censor. It's not actually rumored anymore. It's crazy, right? So Tinubu is planning to conduct census. So there are some people from northern part of Nigeria that believes that the reason why Tinubu is planning to do that is to further demystify this northern majority, northern population. How could they do that? It's a betrayal. So some of them are already working to ensure that they sabotage it. However, Tinubu has nominated some of his ministers, some of them from northern Nigeria, okay, some of his ministers as the committee to spearhead the organization of the head count in Nigeria using scientific. Here you go. So the North says they can't trust him. That is a tax reform that is claiming, is an effort to cut them off from the cookie jar, Niger. So eventually they had their way. Not Tinubu's, okay, maybe Tinubu also had his way, because the reason why Tinubu is pushing this tax start initially is not because he wants to really generate any money for you or improve your IGR or what have you. No. It is because of that is 10% that will later go to him, whether he is your president or he's not your president. So once it is by law, that you have to give that to an agency. So Tinubu is only interested in that 10%. So whether all of them agree for them to do tax reform or agree, the thing is this. For those of you who no agree, tell us why. Those of you who agree, why? Now, you know what? Now, let's meet them in the middle. She is about sharing formula, B. No wala. The intention is to actually make me the person sharing it. Again, if you don't get that, okay, that's up to you. So, but they believe, like, Tinubu's effort is to continue to try to, so to Tinubu's, even to Tinubu's adversaries, not admirers in the South, some of them on this, they are like, yeah, we want you to deal with the North. Deal with them. We want him to, you get what I mean now? So if the census is considered as anti-North, you should expect a massive resistance towards that, okay? Until probably it won't also achieve whatever the intention is. But Tinubu is believed to be doing all of this enough that by the time you get to 2026, it would consider the entire Sharia election as a walkover. Well, some people are disagreeing with that. No, my friend, if you understand, this is not me, people. My friend, if you understand how politics work, you will know that coalition never starts. Because, in PDP, who want to act like they are opposition, you know their story. They are dead, practically dead. It's just a platform where they can still manipulate the system in their favor. They can actually, use it as a vehicle to gain power. But to these ones now, who are now leaving the PDP, they believe that it is even worse than what you can imagine. Here is what, here is what one of the supposed lawmakers, national lawmakers from Delta State, this is what this one had to say concerning the reason why they are joining Tinubu. Don't worry, we know why. But this is what he had to say about his party, PDP, that made them to go and join Tinubu.
If you look well, the current PDP state chairman is here. He was in the meeting. The governor of the state was in the meeting. The deputy governor was in the meeting. The Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly was in the meeting. the immediate past governor of Delta State, who ran as vice presidential candidate of the party, was in the meeting. National Assembly members, both serving and non-serving, who are still members of the party, were in the meeting. House of Assembly members were all in the meeting. In fact, my brother, all the local government party chairmen, council chairmen, everybody who is who in Delta State PDP was in the meeting. Thank you. You see, a few days ago, there was a resolution taken by the Governors Forum, the PDP Governors Forum meeting in Ribadu. And almost all the governors were there. They resolved that they are not going to go into any merger with any political group, political party, or political association. As disadvantaged as PDP is, with only 11, 12 governors, how do you go into a national election and you think you can win with an incumbent president at the top? That particular resolution has killed the spirit of so many PDP members. How did we lose the election in 2015? It was because political parties came together, including those splinter groups from PDP. They all came together and were able to wrestle power from the PDP at that time. Of course, there are deeper reasons. The legal issues that are there. Today we hear one Senator Ayahu, my friend, my colleague and brother, is the national secretary of the party. In another day you will hear that the man that was chosen from the southeast before the Supreme Court decision, that is the man that the party had chosen to be the national secretary of the party. And the same Ibadan meeting resolved that the deputy national secretary will be acting as national secretary for now. My brother, party is not just a mere political grouping. Party must be positioned to go into a contest to win. And the national secretary of a party signs all the documents going to INEC, all the external documents, external and internal, with the national chairman. Who is going to sign the documents for the PDP? And if that document is rejected, what do? My brother, the more you look, the less you see. It's becoming very funny. And you see people say different things at different times. Sometimes at the same time, they'll be saying the same thing, but in different ways. So the PDP has never gotten this kind of trouble before. PDP is in trouble, truly. So for so many other deeper reasons that I'm not in a position to give you now, well, yes, we have 11, 12 governments. But for now, I don't think it is good enough for the PDP family in Delta to continue to be inside the boat.
Nuisance, Lele.
I hope I get the message. You see, Nigeria political parties, they are not formed based on any ideology or any principle. And you heard him, he said, party is just a mere political gathering. That's a career politician. No? Party is just a mere gathering, you know. I mean, we can go and group against somewhere else. We can just move here. So what about if their own ideology is different from yours? Baba goes ideology. The only ideology all of us get is to get ourselves closer to the Nigerian national boss. That is the common ideology, no matter whether na PDP or APC. Everybody's ideology, every political party's ideology is how to get closer to. There is no ideology. That, to those of you who are educated, what does that mean? What does that tell you? It tells you that people who are like ideologically barren are the ones who are making important decisions for millions of people. And also, if you paid attention very well, he never said it is because Nigeria is getting better, things are fine. You know, like, you know, you can say, I decided to go and support this man because Nigeria is getting better. My people, my constituents, people who sent me to Abuja said I should go and support him. There's nothing about governance. There's nothing about Nigeria. It's about them, their survival. I was talking about what's going to be their fate. If somebody signed their document during election, because it's always about next election. If somebody signs our document and they reject the document, INEC rejects it. What happened to your career? You want PDP to no, no. That's why we decided. And there are many other things too, but these ones are very important ones. We cannot let PDP, because what we know is that PDP doesn't exist anymore. I mean, look at, you say you get Sha? Well, people believe that, some people are saying that Tinubu is playing his card very early. Because same yesterday, another guy from Osun, Oluwole Oke, Abi Kiloroko Ogbeni, I think Oluwole Oke, I believe. I'm gonna, let me see if I can bring up his name. Right, Oluwole Oke Noni, Ijesha North. He also tendered his resignation from PDP and said he's going to go and join Tinubu in APC. Similarly, the guy on the right is also a lawmaker, House of Rep member from Kano, is NNPP, the Kwakwansop people, right? So they are all going on to go and join Tinubu. And they are expecting others too, from what we have heard. So to some people, it was like, nah, don't get carried away. In fact, it is not a show of kind of bravery or a show of being smart. That Tinubu normally, okay, let me put it this way. You see, normally, right, majority believe that it doesn't even have to do anything. You understand that it doesn't have to do anything. The way Nigeria is and the institutions in Nigeria, Tinubu doesn't have to do, it doesn't even need your vote. But others are saying, no, it does. You get what I mean? Like, you can only conveniently actually falsify figures where you are popular. And if your popularity has so dwindled enough that you can't really control everything the way you expect, including those people who are campaigning to you, you will get overwhelmed. Like, if the people really determine, yeah, you'll get overwhelmed. They've done it before, they think they can do it again. The difference is that when they did it before, the person they want to do it to now was also involved when they did it before. So it now makes it more or less like complicated. Say, okay, is it going to kiss the dust? Eventually, if you all, because what they are saying is, what you are witnessing right now is actually a show of fear, you know, using the EFCC to track those you considered as your opposition, using their corruption compromise on them. That is weak. Yeah, people are, not me, people are saying that. So by the time people are ready, that 2027 is going to be Nigerians versus Tinubu. It's not going to be the North versus the South. That is where Tinubu is going to shoot himself on the foot. Again, I said what everybody is saying. For example, this guy is a prominent member of the people talking, people talking about coalition or talking about, removing Tinubu, and it will be the job of Nigerians. This guy.
For the fact that you talked about coalition, when Nigerians coalesce, is a coalition against government. The current hunger on the street, the current depression that Nigerians are facing, there's tariff in electricity, there's tariff in data, there's tariff in airtime, there's an increase in everything. You know that since President Tinubu came into office, and the cost of transportation, the cost of living has gone so high. So if we discuss about it anywhere we see, is a problem, is a reflection of what we are going through and a reflection of the pains that Nigerians are facing. So if we discuss it, it's not an issue that is out of the ordinary. And going to 2027, like you have said, let me tell you very clearly, coalition is good. More people coming together to decide the fate of this country is good. But I'm telling you, it will be a decision by Nigerians who have been forgotten by the government, who have been abandoned by government, who have no access to quality healthcare, who have no access to quality education, who have no access to public transport system, who have no access to be able to pay proper educational system for their children.
Are you worried that the president is outside this country for the past 2 weeks? How worried are you?
I'm very worried. I've spoken about it. This president have shown that there's no concern, because there's nowhere in the world that you will have the kind of people who have died in Rio, in Bokos, in Urome, and you have a president who will be operating remotely from a foreign land. It has never happened in any country, because the president came out to seek for this job, to try to do this job on behalf of Nigerians, and said that he's going to lead. We are 250 million Nigerians, and we have a lot of people who have the same capacity to lead this country. We have young people who can lead this country, we have old people who can lead this country. And if he has brought himself out, and by whatever means he has been declared as president of this country, he must not be as empty president. He must be available to sit in the presidential seat and then run this country fairly, squarely, and in a just manner that must promote the interest of our people, because we can't have a situation when the primary purpose of governance is about security of life and property, and that same primary purpose is the reason why the government have failed most. So it's a challenge to the government to know that the level of the kind of high-handedness that they have applied, even to the cause of opposition, even to the cause of democracy, they have further weakened the deepening of the democratic process, including with the state of emergency declared in Rivers State. These are things that are antithetical to the development of democracy. Our Nigerians must speak out, because if we don't have democracy, the alternative we have is not palatable. The alternative is not conducive. We cannot have people who claim to be Democrat and then come into office and start to run it with strong arm of the law. We cannot have people who circumvent and misread Section 305 to suit their purpose and try to entrench their own strength because of 2027 elections.
Do you still have hope for the country?
My hope in the country is the reason why I remain here. A lot of people have run out. A lot of people have second address. They have second citizenship. A lot of them, that's what they're doing. But even though we have the ability and the resources and the capability to acquire that, we have rejected that. Because this country, if we must make it work, we should be here, work together with all well-meaning Nigerians to make sure that Nigerian work for our people, not to go to London to seek healthcare, not to go to France to enjoy the best of public healthcare, the best of public system, and then come back to this country and then tell us to be patient, and then tell us to tighten our belt. Why the president and his men
Thank you, sir. I was on my Facebook, doing my road live this afternoon. So somebody now commented. In fact, he actually asked a question, right? And if I remember, maybe not verbatim, okay? So if I remember very well, his question was that, Mayegu, how come that, good people, like normal responsible people, are not allowed to run Nigeria? Because according to him, his question, okay, I think I remember very well now. So his question is like, when you see people who criticize people in government, they always have all of the solutions. They talk this, da. But whenever they now get to power, they become worse than the people they condemn. So my answer, you know, for that person's inquiry was that it was kind of like asking me why. Like, why is it that you will see people, they will tell you a lot, how, I mean, you know, a lot they reject about this past, I mean, the government in power. Then when they finally find themselves in power, they become even like worse than those they condemned and others. I say, well, you see, the reason why you continue to have terrible people in charge of Nigeria, no matter how much you try, is because when you take a look at the foundation, all right, the foundation means that, number one, we did not agree to come together to form a country. We were created by an ideology for some certain purpose. Do you get that now? So we have existed at a way of life until all of that got interrupted and then changed, and we ended up finding ourselves together to say we are one country, but we are not. That is number one. So when you say Nigerians, you know, you don't understand. You see, when you say Nigerians, ordinarily it would have been all of us. That moment, that point, what mattered most is Nigeria. Not your religion, not your tribe, not your ethnic, not your social class, not whatever it is that you have, any other box you have created for yourself and you put yourself in. Sure, you get me now? No. Because if you are a true country, that is what that means, Nigerians. It doesn't matter your background. But because we were never together, so Nigerians, being Nigerians means different things to all of us. It doesn't mean the same thing. You know what I'm talking about? You get that now? Then thirdly, your supposed guidebook, rule book, or law book, your constitution, something that should have represent your value, documented value, documented boundaries, respected culture, tradition, values, respected values. That everybody will know that, okay, yeah, we are now together. Listen, am I saying with you? I'm going to know act mad, I'm going to know, here are the rules. As long as we respect all these band, we can still remain together. Anybody that violates it, war new. And everybody says, yes, war new. So it simply means you have set up the standard of the society you want. So, you know, on that, I actually really said society or a system is actually the way of life created by people and then practiced again and again and again until it's never perfect, right? Until it becomes sort of like implementable, practicable, sustainable. So if you build a bad behavior, a terrible behavior, cheating, lying, manipulating, stealing, all vices, and you build that into a system consistently, right? Rather than punish it, you are finding a way around it to sweep it under the carpet, and then you are cherry picking those to be punished for it. So that society that cherry picks offenders, right? That cherry picks the way it punishes and rewards acts, right? That system is practicing the bad behavior. So that is what Nigeria is. Nigeria sustained terrible, bad behavior that became a system that can only produce criminals. It doesn't matter how much you try. No matter how many times those who claim to be good people try, the only people that will always have their way will always be the terrible, terrible people, because they are the ones who will pay delegates money, okay, to choose the worst of them to become candidates of political parties. They are also the ones who are going to pay the electoral officers to manipulate results, pay political thugs to chase voters, bribe voters to support them, do all the things that we ordinarily should should send them to jail. Rather than go to jail, they will be in churches and mosques organizing Thanksgiving. So this is the process. This is the bad behavior sustained. And the only people you will keep producing will be criminals after criminals. And you always ask yourself, How come is it that now only bad people they lead Nigeria? Because the system allows it. If the system was working, sure you get, Tinubu will be in handcuffs, currently cooling up in one New York jail. I've been at one Chicago West End jail right now. So somebody who is a drug dealer, therefore, will not see Tinubu as a role model because he would rather continue to be his drug dealer, maintaining his life, never touch politics. Because the day you go into politics, you are done for. There's always that line you can't cross. But in Nigeria, there is no line that they can't cross. You see, that line is already blurred out. So therefore, you continue to attract criminals. Criminals who can pay trillions of naira to gain power. And once they have the power, right, again, before they gain the power, they have all the solutions, right? Then once they gain the power, they have all the excuses. That is why you have people who criticize government, that they get in and they're able to do all manner of atrocities, all kind of bad behaviors, you know, criminal behaviors, because they know they are never going to be punished for it. But that guy that spoke last, right, he said something which a lot of people a lot of people kind of have been expecting, but also believe that it is likely never going to happen. And that is, you see, the way Nigeria is, in all sincerity, there should never be anything APC anywhere anymore right now. But it's unfortunate that that is not how things work in that place. Because as it is right now, it is all by ranking. You see, at the federal level, now APC. So therefore, more and more freebies, wrapper, gari, sachet, liquid, sachet, powder. What do you call that thing again? Soft. That thing inside that bag. And I've not touched that in years. What do you call it again? In this, anyway, sachet soap, or cup of rice. So at the federal, there are some of them that if the federal is APC and the state is APC, so local government is APC, so all of them seasonally, I mean, you know, every season they will bring rice from federal, rice from state, and they will bring ugoro from local government. So they will now start sharing them and say all of them combine them together. And before you know it, they just stick to them. They say, well, you know what? They are the only ones who have something to offer. You see people responsible for your, oh, Baba Jari, all these ones don't get money to spend. All this opposition, they don't get money. They don't get money. So some of the people are now, advising Atiku that isn't it better for Atiku to possibly hang the boots now? Not me. People are saying that. Because to them, by the time you get to 2020, to the end of 2025, you are going to see real coming together of all of these guys. That is what Atiku, but what is that thing that Atiku will be bringing to the table? The reason why he chose Okowa in 2023 is because Okowa was like a deep-pocketed. He had deep pockets. So between their relationship and after their relationship, Okowa became EFCC customer to explain how 1.3 trillion naira oil windfall money that they gave to him, how he spent the money. So right now, Atiku's deep pockets is gone. And he has no real governor that is going with him. But the reason why I say he had none is because right now, the southern governors who are opposition, right, they are being wooed over and to come on to Tinubu's side. While those ones who are from northern Nigeria, right, believe that some of their own colleagues who are also APC, they too, they are already in talks, right, whereby they are also going to leave APC. A shocker that they believe that some of you will be so surprised. For example, right, you are seeing all of these guys now joining Tinubu, like, sure you get, And then shockingly, at the end of 2025, you start seeing them in the north and their governors also joining whatever coalition. And I'm like, oh, but it's coming, Lele, you get what I mean now? Like, maybe somehow this is kind of a way of making themselves feel good by saying whatever it is that Tinubu is using right now to bring them to his side in order to make it look like his 2027 is going to be a walkover, right? Well, he's playing his hand very early. Anyway, I'll leave it in the diary so that I can have something to come back to maybe in another few months when other dramas play, because as we know, before the end of this year, it is believed that at least 4 more governors of PDP and maybe ANPP in Kano, they will be joining Tinubu to make it look like who else remain. We'll find out. Here, this issue of Sharia in Yoruba land. Well, for your information, I don't think it is, or I don't think it has ended or over. It is not. The last time this conversation popped up, right, it was some of these unscrupulous elements, extremists from northern Nigeria and their wannabe jihadists in Yoruba land who kept threatening us. On the one hand, they will tell you that Sharia is not for non-Muslims. It is just for settling disputes, this and that. Now, when you now remind them that there are 12 states in northern part of Nigeria where people have been subjected to the punishment of Sharia, even though they are not, and they are non-Muslims, then the next thing will be to try to gaslight you. They will call you Islamophobic and then threaten you. Before you know it, that same threat will pop up. Now, I have experienced it. That's why I'm saying it, right? So we made us believe that there is more to this campaign for this Sharia, that in Yoruba land. Then the Sultan of Sokoto jumped into the conversation and he said he was disappointed in the Yorubas. He thought the Yorubas who are educated, that they said they are the most educated, they said they are the most accommodating, meanwhile they are not tolerant, they are not. I was like, Alaye, calm down, no, Mr. Sultan of Sokoto. Do you have anybody in Yoruba land that complained to you that they are in danger practicing their religion in Yoruba land at all? Anyway, the conversation went on. So the resistance and the campaign against it also was pretty much loud. And the political class reacted. Some state governors categorically came out and said it will not happen in their states. Others are like, okay, you know what, maybe it is the approach. You know, like maybe the way we approached it, we're defensive of it. So they are now saying, no, you know, people hate this because they don't understand. So they are using another technique. They want Sharia in Yoruba land. And when they met in Oshogbo, this is what they have to say.
Who are those people that are going to be applied, the Sharia is going to be applied for or on, so that we do not have misconception? It's just like the tax reform by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You have engagement he had with the National Assembly. All of this, it was after the engagement that he had with many of these stakeholders that they now realize that, okay, this tax reform is very, very good for us.
In this program, we have thousands of youths that came from the south, from the west, from all the 4 corners of Nigeria, where they come far away. Hausa, Igbo, from Benin, Yoruba, everyone are here. They are here to learn more about Islam, the reformation of their self, and also to learn how they are going to be beneficial to the society.
The national president of the group, Abdulrakib Akinyemi, stressed the need for government to improve efforts on national orientation to ensure mutual understanding of its policies and programs.
So they're like, you know what, don't let us use that approach now. So we are just going to try to explain to everybody that the Sharia is not against non-Muslims. And therefore they want to have a Sharia panel in Yoruba land. That is why they have recruited young people. You know, the young minds, they are those very much useful for this kind of sinister message. among all the problems facing the people in that contraption right now, the Sharia panel, these guys have invested so much resources into spread. So they are now recruiting all these young people from all over the place, and their job is to go into the interland, to go into the inner communities and ensure that the idea of having a Sharia actually is birthed and is nourished. I will let them know. All right. That no matter how much they actually really push it, it is not going to happen in Yoruba land. It is not going to happen. And you know why? Because there's no any discrimination against anyone on religion level in Yoruba land. None. So if you go to any sort of like Islamic groups and what have you, they probably have their own, disputes sort of resolution mechanism or groups and all that. So who have always been like practicing their religion without any hindrance or what have you, or discrimination. So weaponizing that to now turn it into something so physical in order to assert your dominance, the way we have seen it in this 12 Sharia north of Nigeria, right? So that is going to remain rejected, no matter how much they push. There are many, don't get me wrong. Yeah, they can keep deploying all kinds of ideas and all that, but we can tell you that the fund, those who are actually like sponsoring that, their main intention is not for anything peaceful. It is evil, and it will be rejected. It must be rejected, and it must be. This is not an attack on your religion. You've been practicing your religion in Yoruba land peacefully, no discrimination, no nothing. You do what you want, and at when you want, as long as it is lawful. You know that. So weaponizing this to make it more like it's an attack on your religion is to achieve an intended purpose, an end goal. And that is where the awareness comes in. So they will deploy all means, but there will be no Sharia in Yoruba land. Not this one that these rogues are pushing. And get, something, they are not ordinary. They are powerful too. But there's something more powerful than whatever it is that they are pushing, is that what is hidden from people today, their real intention, right? It's just going to be a matter of time before some of those they would use for that, whatever sinister purpose or and all that, religions, this or that, the religious war or religious crisis in Yoruba land, those they are recruiting to use for that purpose, right? They are going to also regret it eventually. So, going forward, again, here, 3 men caught somewhere in Kaduna by the Nigerian army, and their offense, they are armed robbers. So there's an interrogation of them on how they were caught and why they were caught and what, they've been involved in until that time. So I bring to you this a little bit disturbing kind of like a visual. It's an interview of the criminals, and I want it to be on record as well. Okay, just so you know that when criminals are caught like this, here, these ones are armed robbers. Also a very much violence crime, right, as it is. So sharing their own, what I would call their confession, okay, is not the reason why I am sharing these videos with you. It's actually more than that. Well, I would say it's not the only reason. It's more than that. Now, I'll give you some context. When you look at some of those caught criminals, whenever they are sort of like interviewed, majority of them are in the age range that means that they are very young. I mean, it should reflect what they call the young population of Nigeria, where they said that over 70% of Nigerians are in the ages between 0 and 35, kind of. So, and then that simply means that whenever they are talking about statistics like poverty percentage, kind of, all right? So 70% Nigerians living in abject poverty. Now, yes, 70%, some of you probably what you visualize is just some adults, right? You know, some adults, 70%, 170 million adults. That's not it. In that 70%, that's 170 million that they say living in abject poverty. As you picture it, you will discover that more than 60 million of them are young people, including children who have been left out there, right? And they are out there to survive in a country where it is dog eat dog. Unfortunately, those of you who are within that same space trying to make something out for yourself, right? Trying to be or keep your heads above water, you are still going to be their easy target. You are still going to be those ones that will pay for the crime of the society that shun people like this out. An economy that shrank from $568 billion straight down to $198 billion. That is a life-changing, a generational, life-changing economic decline. There will be victims. Here is one of them caught by the Nigerian army in Kaduna for armed robbery. Listen to his story.
You say, what is your name?
Babangida Julfa.
Babangida Julfa.
Yes.
You from where?
I'm from Mutumbu.
Mutumbu. Where are you? Where Mutumbu? Where?
It's under Kaderko.
Under Kaderko?
Yes.
Kaderko. Which local government?
That was the local government.
Was a local government?
Yes.
Okay. What happened? Why they arrest you?
I buy small gun, pieces, where I buy, I use one.
What happened? Why they arrest you? Now talk. What happened?
I kidnapped machine.
You kidnap machine? Oh, okay. Robbery.
I robbed the man.
You robbed the man? For which road?
For Bush Road.
Bush Road now? Where?
For their side, for Cardinal, near Cardinal side.
Near Cardinal
side.
Cardinal, which near Mutumbu?
Near Arewa side.
Okay, for Arewa side.
Yes.
Then you block the road.
I blocked the road for them. So I blocked the Fulani man to control away the machine.
Okay.
I see the machine no good, I no carry out.
I
no take the machine. So as I run, we be three. So we run. After that, we run, they follow us, go catch us. So they say, how many machines they take with the rope and for this road? Okay. I tell them, say, no any machine where with the rope, and they say, then don't they collect their machine from here. But from this one today, making full. So I say, no. So they collect the pieces where I get, then collect her.
You go with pistol?
Yes.
Okay.
I carry pistol. I carry it.
Which type of pistol?
Small one.
Bullet the inside?
Bullet the inside.
How many bullets?
3 bullets.
3 bullets?
Yes.
Now only 3 the inside?
Now only 3 remain the inside.
Where remain the inside?
Yes.
But you get a full before?
No, I get a full, but don't tell where they use them.
You don't tell where they use them? Like how many years now? Where they hold them?
They don't reach like 4 years.
4 years now?
Yes.
Where you get the gun? Yes. Or the bullet? For where you get the pistol?
You get one Igbo man where he stay for our side before.
Igbo man, what is his name?
Koolu.
Okoro. Okay.
And they do and they make himself by himself.
And they make the pistol by himself.
So I come buy them for your hand.
Okay.
Yes. So I buy them for your hand. They come give me 10. I buy the bullet for your hand. So as I buy the bullet, the man give me the bullet. I carry him and use and walk. So it come remain 3. The bullet come remain 3. So I still the manager because I know they shoot them anyhow. So if I want my people fear Naira, they shoot them for up like this. So then they run. So it can't remain 3 for inside. So that yesterday I can't shoot one. So I just this plan carry them, then come out from my hand, then carry them go. Till I say then go remove the remaining and hide them. We have no understand the point that he says shoot, but we no shoot. I only one shoot bullet where we shoot yesterday. We shoot one bullet, maybe they run, they no run. And maybe no shoot again. So then carry the gun go. This will go, then go remove the remaining bullet, then carry and come empty. Then they say we shoot satellite bullet, go finish. But now only one bullet we shoot yesterday, okay? I no lie.
So you say now how many years now where the gun don't deal with you?
4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
Since that 4 years you have been using it.
No, if I use it for the second, if I see the Tasolawan boss, I go run, go Rakure, because now
Okay.
I at the work.
Okay.
So I go hide them from my house. I go run, go Rakure. If I do like 3 years for Akure, I go come back. So
Okay. Which work will they do for Akure?
now Koko work I do.
Okay. You when you don't come rob for a year.
Where I see
Where you say Kasala one boss out.
So I go run, I go hide them from my house. I go run. I go run, go there, I go join my work.
Okay.
But like 3 years, 4 years, I go still return back home.
Okay. So how many times now you don't block that road or you don't collect machine?
For the year where I buy this thing, I collect 2 machines. So as the one Kasala go boss, so I go return back for the machine.
You return the machine back. How Kasala boss?
And the place where I go sell them, then go catch the man.
For where you sell them?
So for Lantan.
For Lantan?
Near Pilgani, for inside Pilgani.
Inside Pilgani?
Yes.
Now you go sell.
So according to the report, 2 of them that they paraded, okay, they are armed robbers known to the security agents. So which means they said they've been arrested for armed robbery before. But somehow they are back there on the streets. But do you believe that story? I don't know. I mean, something is off. And I'll tell you my observation. Okay? It doesn't mean that they are not criminals, or don't get me wrong. But something is off about the story. All right? For example, he said when he was arrested, all right? I wanted to even put the gun on the screen. So he said 4 years ago, he bought this gun. Right? He said he bought this gun from one Igbo man living in his area named Okoro, who was making the guns himself 4 years ago. And he said once in a while he will go out and he will just be shooting the gun. All right? Or sometimes he will also go and use the gun to rob. So when he robs and Kasala busts, he will hide the gun and go away. And when they found him, he said he had the 3 bullets, which means he said he got the 3 bullets when he got the gun 4 years ago. You know, too, they kind of make sense to me. From where I got that story from, right? This video, it was also stated that 2 of them, like I said, who were known armed robbers, they just came out of prison less than 2 years ago. So, it don't make sense to me. I'm trying to, or maybe I'm just probably thinking too much. Right? So, I feel like he's probably a criminal. And when they are looking for those who carried out armed robbery in that axis of Kaduna, immediately these guys came across them. It wasn't hard for people to point them to say they must be the one responsible. So the moment they got them, they just put them together and said they used this gun. About this is the gun they used to. So he said he kidnapped people as well. That he will kidnap people. So that means he's using this. And this must be his crew. The other guy, in another video, had his own Satan plaster on his head. You know, that thing that will make you look like Satan of Shokoto. Right? You know, when Satan of Shokoto is just taking a break in the yard, the kind of the shit he would have to, or plaster he would put on his head, is not as heavy as the one you see when you see them in public. The second guy says story. Yeah.
What is your name?
My name is Ponfadanjima. My name is Ponfadanjima.
Ponfadanjima from where?
From Mutumbi, sir.
Eh?
From Mutumbi.
Mutumbi where?
Under Kaderoko was a local government.
Kaderoko was a local government?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you married?
Yes, sir.
How many kids?
One with pregnancy.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, where were you arrested? What happened? Where they arrested you?
What happened yesterday? We were about to go in bush.
Bush to do what?
To rob people flying machine. Then when we rob, we were waking. We can't see one flying man is coming with his bike. That time I did from the Babangida with them in the day from my back. So they come call me, say, see machine, they come over. Before I rush come, they don't catch the man. As the man come shout, run, leave his machine, come they shout. I said, oh, Babangida, this machine, if you said no, come good, mother, leave him, they go this plan, they inside this bush. That's why they go refuse to come climb the bike. Me, I come the straight, run with a leg. I those people come to follow us, come catch us. I can't surrender. They come first catch me. Later they come catch me. Later they come catch the missing. So that is what happened. They come to beat us, got last. And after then they come call one man for Arewa and a chairman. They come call the chairman. Later on we are still we can't see so that people don't come arrive. So they come pick us from there. Just carry us come inside Kadarako police station. From there, they take us for headquarters before I say here.
Okay. What do you use to rob with?
Pistol.
Pistol?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. How many pistols?
Only one pistol. The one with Babangida is the one that get it, and he's the one that can take you to the bush. That is the 2 times yesterday we started rob.
Okay, 2 times yesterday.
Yes.
That's the day we make it 2 times.
Yes.
Okay, all 3 of you go together.
No, the virtual one we collect, we can't sell for us here. Me with Tunzin.
You with Tunzin?
Yes, sir.
The Bangida not follow?
No, you not follow, and now it's gone.
Now it's gone?
Yes, now pistol.
Okay.
Yes,
you go collect pistol for him?
For Bangida, he's the one that gives us.
He give you
yes,
to go and rob?
Yes, sir.
And bring you back to him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you want to rob, you after you blow the person, you used to fire the pistol?
No, we'll just show him so that the person can fear. Especially like this veteran one. The man does not do anything, we just show him the pistol, we just stop. And then we carry the bike. We collect phones for your hand with a cutlass.
I mean, what you collect for the man hand?
Phone with 5,720 naira.
Okay.
With a cutlass.
Oh, cutlass?
Yes.
You collect from the man hand?
Yes.
Okay. With what again?
That's with a gari for back of the machine.
Gari what?
This gari where they use to chop.
That corn?
Guinea corn.
Okay, Guinea corn powder?
Yes.
Where they use make tool?
Yes.
You collect them?
Yes.
Those ones you go sell and be able to do that. You don't carry and give your wife.
No, throw them, sir.
You throw it for bush.
Yes, sir.
So the machine, what you can't do with the machine?
After when we carry the machine come house, they want Mr. Friday for Kadarako.
Mr. Friday?
Yes.
Friday who?
I don't know his father name, sir.
For Kadarako?
Yes, but I know him.
You know him by face?
Yes, by face.
You know where he stay for Kadarako?
Yes, sir.
Which side for Kadarako? Can you describe the place?
For Guantabat.
Eh?
Guantabat.
Guantabat?
Yes.
That is the name of the area in Kadarako?
Yes.
Guantabat?
Yes.
That is where Friday stay?
Yes.
In Kadarako?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as you give Friday, what happened?
He told me to come together with him to come sell the bike. I said, okay, no one, we can follow. I followed him after we come reach was here.
Yeah.
They contact me, say I should wait for around about here so that I can give him the bike. We come price my machine, can't give him the money. I said, okay, so no, I can't wait for him. Can't carry the bike come. I don't know who the person will going to say, but they contact me, say the machine now 150.
In seller? So you don't see the person when you sell them for?
No.
What was it? Yeah.
No, I don't see the person.
You not allowed you to see the person?
No.
You just can't tell you saying don't sell at 150?
You just carry the machine, go with the talk for phone.
You the talk for phone?
Yes, with him.
With him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Apart of this Vetra, how many machines don't steal again? You collect again?
No, I never do anything again apart from these 2 Vetra with this yesterday on. That's the first time that we...
Vetra is first time where you follow?
Yes.
Plus yesterday on?
Yes, sir.
Tell me the truth.
Yes, sir.
That is
the plain truth, sir.
Eh?
That is the plain truth. Yesterday, that Vetra one with yesterday on.
That is the one where you don't do?
Yes, sir.
So the Baba say the building that they carry, say when they fire them up. Is it true? They fire them up, or they fire down?
That's the second guy. You don't want to see the third guy. I promise you don't want to see the third guy. Remember that the first guy, now plaster for the half of his head, forehead. The second guy is like the replica of the Satan of Shokoto after beating. If I show you the third guy, I'm going to ruin your evening. So there's no point. Now, soldier beat them. They accused them of using this gun. This gun in their hands. Do you understand? See that guy in the far right, or one in the third one, you don't want to see his video. There's no way except if they have to kind of use bandage to make him look like the mummy from Egypt. They even beat English come up for him out and broken and everything. He had to speak in a language that honestly, Baba, I would need an interpreter if Yuma is around. But it's a little bit dodgy. It seems like all that kind of confession is beaten out of them. I will say whatever you want me to say. Sorry that you don't understand, because I don't think English can help me say what I want to say properly. Akilo Dina, why? Okada. You still Okada. And then no, they be pay a bank. Do you understand the kind of beating that will make somebody to be in that stage? It's not like an accident that you hit your head. You will confess. And so that's what I feel like. It's like they beat it out of them, like, yeah, come here, use this gun you use. How dare you go on and steal and rob the Fulani of the Okada? You don't know that they have a brother in the army. You these bloody civilians, right? Show me the gun. And the gun be this, so the gun with 3 bullets. Don't understand. So that's why I'm like, I don't think it is probably like something is dodgy, So, I mean, the follow I'm only for me. As long as they didn't kill someone. I don't know. I mean, if I see somebody that they beat to stupor, oh my God, don't quit up to stupor. Have you seen somebody so drunk that they have no idea where they are? Have you seen that before? Eh? Don't quit stupor near. Drinks to stupor. Stupor. Oh, but stupor. Which is a Paul stupor. No dance, no daku kontu, no daji. Like that. And that's what they do in that place. You know? And they put them on the screen. They didn't even wait for all the swollen faces to get down and all that. So, you know, the bottom line shy is this, okay? All these kinds of criminals, right? No matter their story, all right? They are always going to be the existential threats to me and you who are trying to escape the murderous, ruinous policies of the APC. Now, some people are falling by the way along the line, falling into this poverty. Their children and their own dependents are always going to need to survive, and their survival will probably be eating me and you, because we are the easy target. Yes, we are. Before they go to Abuja, they will first check on who is closer, and that's something you should be concerned about, right? So let's leave Kaduna, okay, and stop in Abuja. Earlier today, Wala Sheleo, and I'll tell you what happened. In this, you know, in this open concentration camp called Nigeria, you know, don't try to want to understand it. And if you want to understand it, right, you must also be ready, right, to have this roller coaster of emotion. And most of them are going to be rage, anger. Because the more you discover about the contraption, the more angrier you become. Like, why would this even be happening? Why did that happen? Blah, 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 blah. Because it is Nigeria. Today, the teachers, primary school teachers in Abuja, decided to stage a kind of like a public protest to pass the message of their suffering, their welfare abandoned, you know, like ignored. The minimum wage of 77,000 Naira that Wike told them that they will be paid as far back as February, Shengbang, they have not been paid. Then the ones that they used to pay them, the 30,000 minimum wage, has also not been paid. They are owing them. So they took to the streets to go and protest. And in the process, I think they now ask their NLC, they send an NLC chairman, no be teacher chairman, NLC, the workers chairman for FCT. They now invited him into the ministry's inner room to go and have a meeting with the head of the Ministry of Education. So in Abuja, Alaye went in. It took time. That's it. They said they give him pop-off and mineral. Can't open AC for him. The guy can't probably just said, problem, Mosa. Meanwhile, these guys want the government to tell them that they will get paid this so time or they will continue their strike. Alaye don't go inside, come out, cause you know, if like people going, you were like, we no go agree, we no go agree. Lie, never, we no go agree. You must pay us our money, we no go agree. So you can't enter the company, front of the company. They say, yeah, hey, what's the problem? So our salary, our welfare, our allowances, it says everything is tough. You've not paid us and all of that stuff. We're not working again. It's okay. Who are your representatives? This guy presented himself as a leader. About not on number point, I can't play you the video. One number point be only. Like this, you see all these guys that I shared with you earlier. Because they say when DS Alaye went inside, he didn't go become their party inside. So he can't come out. He can't, you know, it's like he came out and I was like, the greatest Nigeria teacher, they say great. Greatest Nigeria teacher, they say great. But the greatest Bagba, they say Bagba. For the greatest Gbogbo, they said Gbogbo. They said everybody Jama Lole. Where they go? Say, Abelori Buku ni Isa. Share Yawiri. Where would they go where? Eh? Wetin dey no be buns dey your mouth so no be no be buns crop dey this your irungbon. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo sọ fún yín tẹ́ fi ń rẹ́rìn-ín. NSC chairman ended up in hospital. Wọ́n gba NSC chairman lọ́wọ́ àwọn tí tó lead dé iwájú ministry ni. If not, they go kill am for from there. Around Gaza, everybody is angry. You can barely beg them. And the teachers be this so.
Shame on FCT! Shame on Yahoo boys pay us our minimum wage. 40% peculiar allowance pay us. All small boy for us, they can't lie for us.
They are unpaid teachers. With what Nigeria is right now, here you get, people are still being held their salaries. And you know, people will say, a lot of us are, sometimes we do ask people, how they can cope? How are you doing it? Say, Baba, the grace of God, oh, not only God, oh, we tell you how we, you know, they don't pay us. They don't pay us. If you even know what they pay yourself, right? It's only grace of God and the help of other family members. That's how we have managed to survive all this while. So they now sum up courage, gather themselves, decided to stage, successful one, said to stage a protest. Somebody was now like, to take advantage of that. Eh? They said they will see us later. Very sheery, Mr. What will be this person? One NLC Shiama. NLC Bawo, we are in UT now. They said we had to do it to call the leaders, the elders of the union. Elders of the union, we will not Japans in the office, man. Come out, they tell us, say, see, we have sorted. You'll get back to us. I bet sheery. I'll look na police collector NLC chairman. NLC chairman, you know, this one will be local government NLC chairman. One no be only. And you look at NLC chairman, no, NLC chairman, no, no killer, NLC chairman, no. They shout. If I show you the video, right? It was kind of like not good to show, you know. It was like a bit violent. Anger, the anger with the inside some of them. We save to say now with a wicked they grab like that. Yeah, Babana die. You can take advantage of that. True story. It's online. Normally, it shouldn't be there. It should have been the NUT, Nigerian Union of Teachers. And we hope that with a wiki, we pay them their money. It's around everybody. My man, not like you. Yesterday, we were all here, right? When a lady shared with us what she called motto. It's actually like the wooden canoe with propeller. Africa Wahala. Na propeller. Yamaha, that engine that they always attach to all this wooden canoe. So you saw the video, right? So in the middle of the ocean, petrol finished, gas finished, that they got stranded in the middle of the water. So they had to wait for a few minutes, not hours, a few minutes, for another canoe to bring them a spare fuel. So the lady seems to be somebody who work in Lagos Island, Lekki, while she lives in Ikorodu. So she was at the same, terminal today. But they saw the video. They told her to probably swim. To probably go swim and so that side. We know they carry you again. Gen Z. They said the reason why we will not carry you is because you made a video of what is going on here. Then she made a video to tell all of us that they've told her that they will never pick her again, or they will never allow her to travel on their canoe again because she made a video. Gen Z in here, yeah? Oh, bon cocon.
You're supposed to just talk to we, and that very day, they have called.
Sọ pé wọn lè sọ̀rọ̀ ní ṣe ní lè sọ̀rọ̀ torí fídíò tí mo ṣe lánàá sìn mo dé fẹ́ rí wọ́n sọ pé mi ò lè wọ mọ́tò. They are telling me to go back to my house because of the video I made. Good morning, guys. The funniest thing this morning is that I made a video on Tuesday evening lórí omi pé ferry takuto romi wọ́n ní kò sepo mọ́. On getting to ferry this morning, on my way to office, mo ṣe máa rí ferry. Wọ́n ní torí pé mi ṣe video, ó trend. Kíní kan, èmi ò lè wọ ferry ní bíbá ilé mi. Eré mo pé o. They didn't allow me. Like, the video I made was for you people to make amendments. I have like 4 to 5 videos. To ṣe pé a máa wà lóbi kan sọ pé ferry ó takú. A máa wà láàrin omi bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ máa ṣe video, wọ́n máa ṣe everything. Just imagine. Ẹ lè sọ pé torí pé mo post kíní kan wọ́n jẹ́ kí n wọ́n ferry. Ẹ lè ní àwọn là ń nira wa lára ní Nàìjíríà yìí. Àwa yìí gangan là ń nira wa lára ní Nàìjíríà yìí.
You're supposed to just talk to we, and that very day, they have called.
The farmer will make more money. Your lunch will not be imported. Cassava gari, yeah. The farmers will make money.
That transmission line is a super highway. For generated electricity and power. They could not even make a down payment for a roasted corn. If we lend ourselves to innovation, we can create wonders. Yeah, it's a successful again, a town hall, different from Bulaba.
So that's it. And I hope I mean, what can I even say? I wanted to say, like, I hope the government will make sure that they let her use the ferry. Whereas Nigeria, people will be like, maybe you should buy him a canoe, Mayegu. I can buy a canoe if I have money to buy a canoe, but I mean, if it's for the Gen Z to even be telling us what's going on the water, right? Or maybe not tonight, another time, okay? So leaving that for the NIMET, you know, the NIMET strike, it's quite strange though, right? So the NIMET are called the Nigeria Meteorological, is that what you call it? Meteorological Center. They are in charge of telling us about weather. They are so crucial than just you looking at the weather news on TV. They are so crucial that for the safety of air passengers, air travelers, NIMET, in the case of Nigeria, they cannot go on strike. For safety reasons, they can't go on strike. Because it simply means that some of these planes will be flying blind. And, you know, except if they have an alternative agency that gives them the weather reading in the absence of NIMET. So the NIMET, like the Abuja teachers, took to the streets yesterday to complain about a poor welfare package, poor pay. Nigeria is no longer what their salaries can actually handle. And something has to be done. And if nothing is going to be done, then they would rather stay away from work. But that is very far-reaching. A lot of people have condemned this, that you kind of like value money more than the lives of the people. Thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of passengers who are going to be flying through your airspace and around this time, especially the local flights too. The local flights, you know. Anyway, people have been given this there. Others are saying that, including me, that they should never, for the importance of their work, right? They should never have been owed any money. Anyway, some of them came out to explain the consequences of them not being paid, and also the consequences of ignoring them, because it seems the people are still flying in Nigeria, right? Some people have sort of canceled their flights, but they notice if the flights, anyway, they've resumed now, though, okay? This evening, it said that, you know, fraudsters Otobokeyamo, right, called for this dialogue, and they've called off the strike. But before then, watch this.
Salary relativity, poor salary income, poor star welfare, and then other, like we have issue of 25% salary income. Well, 2019 minimum wage, even the current minimum wage does not be paid. So those, we have a very large issues, problem that we are about to discuss. So as I'm talking to you, we have discussed our management, but we have not gotten it. So I think that was why we did this particular study that we are back. But as it is, we are still going for another meeting. So we hope we'll get a result. But we will continue to fight this battle because NIMET staff are suffering. Let me tell you, 4% NIMET collect 31,000. They have 8 officers, a graduate collect 84,000. So the system is just bad.
You have rightly said that you have noticed that some aircrafts are still flying. It is a risk for you to fly without the proper meteorological weather forecast parameters. You are putting the lives of your passengers, your crew, at risk.
Today, the second day of the strike. You see, it has been a couple of failed promises from the NIMET management to the staff. It's so appalling to see that the people that are working day and night to ensure that the mandate of NIMET is fulfilled are being maltreated. As I speak to you right now, NIMET is not
have been the last minimum wage that was approved by former President Buhari is what NIMET staff still have. In fact, some persons are still not having that yet. We have poor salary. We don't go for training. And by the time you see, if anybody is going for, it's selected in-house people that goes for training in NIMET. We don't have, we are struggling with equipment. Most importantly, the welfare of NIMET is poor. That's why we say enough meeting. We've been having a series of meetings, and all of those meetings have been shown abortive. So it is time for us to speak the language that NIMET understands. The last communique that was signed in October, January says that it will be done like almost immediately. As I speak to you right now, it is still another story of, okay, we will. So for this reason, we are crying out to the management of NIMET, to the minister, and most importantly to the President Tinubu.
So those of you old enough to remember Tinubu versus Lagos State workers, strikes after strikes, and at a point when Tinubu told them to go to hell, you know, they want to go strike, they should go on strike, and he has no money to pay them. And when he finally made up his mind to pay them, they had to actually retrench so many of them. True story, life story. There are people who are the victims of all of this under Tinubu. So a time is coming that you see all these guys who are calling for strikes here and there, they will be kicked out. That is the modus operandi of Tinubu. But before then, this evening, it's reported that fraudster Sotobo Keyamo met with them. They have now called off their strike in a mumbo-jumbo kind of meeting to show to us that they were on top of the matter. Fraudster Keyamo posted this video.
For the union makes us strong.
We want to thank them for actually responding to our urgent invitation to attend this meeting. We don't take it lightly at all that they came. So we want to thank them so much for responding in the national interest. Here on time, many of them had to come by night buses. They came by road from Lagos. And that we want to be very, very grateful to them for making all those sacrifices on behalf of their members and the Nigerian issue. So there are a number of issues. We don't need to catalog them here. This is not time to catalog them, but I have them in front of me here. We will deliberate on these issues, and we don't expect.
I told you it's like a mumbo jumbo. It's like this. Maybe not as deep as this one, okay? But when I was listening to him, this was what I was hearing.
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum, which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporombium and amounting to sadomasochisms. Acrimony and chaos in our community. It was a contumelious stratagem by political jobbers to siphon monies. We suffer what we call political axivia nunan torum. Conclusively, we are a microcosm of the issues in the Niger Delta in the macrocosm.
But the fact that a lot of people are able to still manage the part of their brain that normally would make them walk naked or in rags, that part still encourages majority of Nigerians to put on decent dress, look normal until they speak. Yeah, that's that aside. Have you seen Sheyi Tinubu's wife? Like, apart from the images you see online, or those short videos on Instagram, they've recruited her for something that a lot of people are now suspecting that indeed Sheyi might actually be interested in 2027 Lagos. Something that I believe that, something that people believe, oh yeah, from this grapevine. Is that it? Grapevine. Believing that those who are all normally in charge of deciding who is going to be the governor of Lagos, they said the joker or the card that Tinubu is intending to play is that if they are unable to settle, to agree on someone among themselves, Tinubu will then present his son. A strategy that they said he used in getting his wife, Rats, the senatorial seats. The rest is history. So somehow, this video you're about to watch is now giving credence to that. Bajabia Amole want to be governor. There is, I mean, I don't know their names offhand right now, okay? But it's, I think, is it Akinola or something like that? There's this guy who was, I think a chief of staff to Fashola. So anyway, they had like about 6 people that are believed to want to replace Sanwo-Iku. In fact, the coup is now called a coup. The coup that removed Obasa as speaker was said to have been cooked by Sanwo-Iku, Governor Point and Kill, Ade Gator. He schemed it out, he orchestrated it, and he recruited some traditional rulers into the scheme, including those they also paid to facilitate the removal of Obasa, in which they said that was in violation of the directives of Tinubu, because Obasa too wants to be governor. So, Tinubu now indirectly has withdrawn from the report to the security attaché to Elegushi and the other guy, because they said they were involved with Sanwo-Iku's agenda to remove Obasa. The rest is history right now. It is still an ongoing underground battle between them. Another implosion that will culminate into the total implosion of this APC at that national level. Long trip. So, Sheyi has now drafted his wife into the game. She's into charity, sharing food, sharing money, giving speeches, and being a mother politically. You've seen this.
You are development. Some of your these items that we have here today are just a small gesture to support the big dreams that each and every single student here has. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. I'm someone who really values the importance of education. Your education is extremely valuable.
You are special. So our name is Oyel. No, I'm gonna. Okay, sorry. Noella is the name of the foundation. her name is actually Layal Jade Tinubu. She is half Lebanese, half Igbo. So she's the chairperson of Noella Foundation, which we believe are the names of our kids. So right now she's into this our own Noella Foundation, doing charity, you know, kind of like paying up people's bills, giving them food and all of that. Something that is the sort of like a business branch that politicians always open for their wives. And the way they believe is the way the wife is supporting the husband's political sort of political adventure or business, you know. Anyway, finally, as the people of Kano are waiting for the Supreme Court's judgment on who is exactly the emir of Kano. Currently, they have two emirs, okay? The first one is Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. So Lamido Sanusi, right, is known as because he's supported by the governor, who I'm been saying, right? So we give him Emir of Kano admin. While the Emir created by Gandola, the Babanriga Mobile Banking CEO of Kano, now the APC, Egbekegbese chairman, his own name is Adobayero. Now, the politics that created them both is what led to this Supreme Court, this court case to say, court should tell us who is the Emir. Because Sanusi says he's the Emir. Bayero says he's the Emir. So now they are waiting on the Supreme Court to tell the people of Kano who is the Emir of Kano. On the last judgment, it was, I think it is 1-1. Is that Sanusi Lamido first one. Bayero then appeal and he won. So currently, Bayero is the Emir of Kano. Is the one who is holding latest judgments. On the whole, sort of like, on the whole rating, it will be 1-1. So Supreme Court would have to give the final. So until then, Emir of Kano admin, arcade, academy. Do you see why they cannot settle it man to man and say, oh, yeah, let's settle it man to man. I'll leave it for you, or you leave it for me. This is why. So in Nigeria, what they are really selling is called patronage. Okay, they don't have jobs, they don't have anything, they are not productive, they do not have any real value, but they are very rich. Patronage is what they are selling, access. You know what I mean? So if you want to have a political appointment, they can influence it. You know what I mean? So, but you have to reciprocate, and when everything works out fine, you also would come back with burnt offerings, or not burnt, try like not burnt. You know what I mean? Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, again for your time, and I do apologize that we are not taking calls. I hope you enjoyed your evening with me. So if you did, you can please like the broadcast before you go, okay? Like it, share it, subscribe to my channel as well, all right? And then you won't miss a thing. So I will see you again. Until then, Mokuna Shas, take them easy. Stay safe. And don't stop watching my ego. Good night from here.
tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ láwọn tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Mayegun diary diary politico. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Òkúra olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀lọ́mọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ̀lú ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.